Preface and Chapter 1 of The King of Elfland's Daughter by Lord Dunsany, first published in 1924. This audiobook is a LibriVox offering, read by Michele Fry, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, visit the website at LibriVox.org. The book begins with a short preface by Lord Dunsany. I hope that no suggestion of any strange land that may be conveyed by the title will scare readers away from this book. For though some chapters do indeed tell of Elfland, in the greater part of them there is no more to be shown than the face of the fields we know, and ordinary English woods, and a common village, and a valley, a good 20 or 25 miles from the border of Elfland. And now, Chapter 1. The Plan of the Parliament of Erle. In their ruddy jackets of leather that reached to their knees, the men of Erle appeared before their lord, the stately white-haired man in his long red room. He leaned on his carven chair and heard their spokesman, and thus their spokesman said, "For 700 years the chiefs of your race have ruled us well, and their deeds are remembered by the minor minstrels, living on yet in their little tinkling songs. And yet the generations stream away, and there is no new thing." "What would you?" said the Lord. "We would be ruled by a magic lord," they said. "So be it," said the Lord. "It is 500 years since my people have spoken thus in Parliament, and it shall always be as your Parliament saith. You have spoken, so be it." And he raised his hand and blessed them, and they went. They went back to their ancient crafts, to the fitting of iron to the hoofs of horses, to work upon leather, to tending flowers, to ministering to the rugged needs of earth. They followed the ancient ways and looked for a new thing. But the old Lord sent a word to his eldest son, bidding him come before him. And very soon the young man stood before him in that same carven chair from which he had not moved, where light, growing late from high windows, showed the aged eyes looking far into the future beyond the old Lord's time. And seated there he gave his son his commandment. "Go forth," he said, "before these days of mine are over, and therefore go in haste, and go from here eastwards, and past the fields we know, till you see the lands that clearly pertain to Fairy, and cross their boundary, which is made of twilight, and come to that palace that is only told of in song." "It is far from here," said the young man, Alveric. "Yes," answered he, "it is far." "And further still to return," the young man said, "for distances in those fields are not as here." "Even so," said the father. "What do you bid me do," said the son, "when I come to that palace?" And his father said, "To wed the King of Elfland's daughter." The young man thought of her beauty and crown of ice, and the sweetness that fabulous runes had told was hers. Songs were sung of her on wild hills where tiny strawberries grew, at dusk and by early starlight, and if one sought the singer, no man was there. Sometimes only her name was sung softly over and over. Her name was Lirazel. She was a princess of the magic line. The gods had sent their shadows to her christening, and the fairies too would have gone, but that they were frightened to see on their dewy fields the long dark moving shadows of the gods, so they stayed hidden in crowds of pale pink anemones, and thence blessed Lirazel. "My people demand a magic lord to rule over them. They have chosen foolishly," the old Lord said, "and only the dark ones that show not their faces know all that this will bring. But we who see not follow the ancient custom and do what our people in the Parliament say. It may be some spirit of wisdom
Sample complete. Ready to continue?